Good morning. Welcome to my morning podcast. I'm recording this from my garden. Since the whole world is on lockdown, I thought I would do some grounding work in my garden by walking barefoot on the grass. And it's a really lovely day. The sky is really blue and the sun is shining, and I found a small patch of grass where the sun is shining, so the grass is nice and warm, and I'm just walking back and forth. And I just did a meditation listening to this really beautiful YouTube called Milan Moritz. It's called Soul Sanctuary, and it's absolutely wonderful. I was listening to it all morning as soon as I got up while I was getting ready, washing up, and I got so many downloads. And I was just, while I was brushing my teeth, I had to make a note on my phone the things that I was receiving. And then I decided, let me go to the garden and do some grounding work by walking barefoot on the grass and listening to her Soul Sanctuary guided meditation again. And again, I got, it was just really peaceful. I got a couple of more downloads and I made some notes on my phone. And then I thought, okay, let me make a podcast. So in the past, I have been making morning podcasts for my garden, and I just do it for myself. But then I just felt inspired this morning, like, maybe I could make a podcast to share on my YouTube channel and my Instagram channel. And I was thinking, what can I talk about? Something positive. And I have loads of angel cards and law of attraction cards that I pulled for when I went on holiday for my birthday. And I kind of want to go back to them and just see what other messages I can get from them, because as Phil Good always talks about, time isn't linear. So messages from the past can actually be relevant to what's happening right now. So I have loads to go through. So I'm going to try to get through as many as I can in this episode. And then if I don't get them all done, because there are lots, then I will save them for the next episode. So I'm just kind of winging it at the moment of this format of this podcast, so please bear with me. I hope I don't bore you. You can just listen to this in the background if you like. You don't have to consciously be aware of what I'm saying, because on a subconscious level, it's actually sometimes better to just tune out and let your subconscious listen to what I'm talking about, because sometimes our brain, our conscious level of thinking gets in the way. And so when we kind of tune out, it allows our unconscious to absorb the messages and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm explaining that really well. I haven't recorded a podcast for the public in a very long time, so yeah, bear with me. So okay, let's get started, because that was a really long introduction. And if you hear any crazy sounds, please excuse that, because I am walking in the garden. But it's actually wonderfully peaceful and quiet, so I can just hear the rustle of the wind in the trees. And earlier on I could hear some birds singing, but they seem to have gone now. I did see a robin just earlier on, and I saw that as a sign, because I wrote a couple of tiny stories about a robin sort of being my guide. So that was quite interesting. And I also saw a bumblebee just flying around on the grass. It was really big, and I also saw that as a sign, because I wrote a story and my ghostwriter talked about bumblebees, so it's interesting. Okay, enough rambling, let's get to it. So these cards are going to be, so this envelope that I randomly picked contains law of attraction cards. So let's get through these first. Okay, so So the first card is, our opinions about our children can influence their behavior. So this is a message for you parents out there. I can imagine it's quite a struggle to have, the children on lockdown with you and trying to find ways to entertain them, stuff like that. So this message is for the parents that are listening. The more you see things in your child that you do not want to see, the more of that you will see. And so the behavior that you elicit from your child is more about you than it is about your child. This is actually true of all your relationships. So this isn't just about parent and children, but also because we are all on lockdown, you're having to spend more time with the people that you live with, and that can cause friction, because we all want our space, and at the moment that space has been taken away from us because we can't go out and, cultivate our own space. So, but what you can do is find a sanctuary, a space within your home, away from other people if you do live with other people, and just, go within, find something that you love to do, something creative, If you don't want to do meditation, that's totally fine, because I know it's really difficult to focus and not think about, what's happening in the world right now. So maybe do something creative that you just feel lost in the moment and that you're in the flow. Okay, so this is actually true of all your relationships. But since you think about your child more than you do of most others, your opinion about your child plays a greater role in its behavior. So this is quite a good message anyways for everybody. So the things that we want to see in other people, if we just imagine that in our imagination, we can then project it, we can then create it in this 3D reality. And this actually kind of reminds me of pre-programming, what they do. They warn us through films and TV shows. Some people are saying it's actually a way of manifestation, because when they show us images, we then create it into our 3D matrix sort of thing. So if they're doing that, then we have the power to do our own imagination and create our own vision of what we want the world to look like and what we want our lives to look like. This is going into like conspiracy territory, which I will try not to go into too much. Save that for another podcast. Okay, so that card is done. So let's move on to the next one. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So the next card is, the law of attraction assembles all cooperative relationships. Okay, so there is this vortex of becoming, a vortex that contains all of the requests, all of the amended requests, each and every detail of each and every asking that has emanated from you, and the law of attraction is responding to that. The vortex is literally drawing in all things necessary for the completion of every request it contains. All cooperative components are being summoned and are coming for the completion of these creations, for the answering of these questions, and for the solutions to these problems. So there's if you think of a vortex as sort of like a space where you just put in everything that you desire, everything that you want, and then the universe goes forth and works on manifesting that for you. Okay, next card. Life is supposed to be good for me. So we're supposed to have a good and fulfilling, joyful life. That is our strongest message to you. Life is supposed to be good for you. Do your best to find the best of the positive aspects that surround you. Look for things to appreciate, even if there aren't that many. Look for things to feel good about. Give your attention as best as you can to the best things that are going on in your experience, with the determination to train yourself into the best feeling vibration that you can find right here and now. So so I know it's really difficult right now to try to think of positive aspects. Trust me, I've been feeling like that too. But I'm like slowly trying to move my thoughts into more positive arenas. Like Dr. Wayne Dyer says, that thought, that what we think about then manifests into our feelings. So I'm trying to focus on that, I'm healthy. And sorry about that, it's an aeroplane flying over. No chemtrails, which is really good because I've noticed that none of the airplanes recently that I've been observing have had any chemtrails. So the sky is really nice and bright and blue. Okay, so yeah, and then I was thinking, oh, I'm really grateful that I am healthy. I'm really grateful that I can go to my garden. I can't go outside. I can't go to in nature, but okay, what's the next best thing I can do? I can go to my garden and do some grounding work, and I can work on my creative hobbies, and I'm going to get back to my massive decluttering project. I have this huge decluttering project that I'm doing. I'm just decluttering everything. This is almost over 10 years worth of stuff that I need to go through and organize and sort. So I figured this is a good opportunity to do those things. Okay, next card. I can stop attracting don't wants by attention to do wants. So you can stop attracting things that you don't want by moving your attention to things that you do want. You cannot rid the world of things that bother you. You have got to rid your vibration of things that bother you. So basically this card is saying that you can't get rid of things that bother you in the world. What you have to get rid of is your actual vibration of the things that bother you. So your vibration in relation to the things that bother you. That is what you have control over. You can't, you might not be able to control what's happening out there, but you can control your inner thoughts, you can control your inner feelings and your vibration towards those circumstances. And when you rid your vibration of things that bother you, no things that bother you can come. So when you get rid of the vibration towards the things that bother you, then the things that bother you can then not touch you, cannot then manifest in your life. But you cannot really rid anything from your vibration because there is no exclusion in this attraction-based universe. The only way to stop attracting something that you do not want is by giving your attention to something that you do want, but you have to take small steps in it. So basically, it's not about getting rid of the vibration towards something that you don't want, but it's more about moving your attention, moving your vibration towards things that you do actually want. It's just, the universe doesn't hear don't want, it just hears feelings and vibration. So instead of saying, I do not want this, you say I want, and then you phrase it in a positive way. There's someone on YouTube that says that if you have a thought that's coming into your head that doesn't feel like it's your thought and you feel like you're being hijacked or something like that, there's like a negative thought coming into your head, the best way to do is you actually say it in a positive way. You say I reject that thought. You don't say I don't want to think of that thought. You actually say it. It's like a command. I reject that thought. So, okay. So, let's get on to the next card. Others' opinions are less important than my personal guidance system. So, this goes back to the idea of it doesn't matter what other people think of what you think or what you believe What matters is your own personal guidance system, your own inner voice. You did not intend to use the opinions of others to measure against your beliefs, desires, or actions in order to determine the appropriateness of them. Instead, you knew and still remembered long after you were born that it was the relationship between the opinion or knowledge of the source within you and your current thoughts in any moment that would offer you perfect guidance in the form of your emotional guidance system. So basically it's saying that, you did not come into this life to measure against your beliefs, your actions, your desires against other people's opinions and trying to get validation of your thoughts and your feelings from others. No, if you think something or if you feel something, that is validation in itself. Your own soul gives you validation. Okay, next card. Feeling negative emotions means I'm launching requests. So because we are all in this together, we're all launching massive amounts of rockets of desires of what we actually do want. And on a collective basis, that is really, really powerful. And I'm going to go into the conspiracy moment. So some people are saying we're undergoing a mass ritual, but we can break through that by launching rockets of desires of what we actually do want and what we actually want our world to be like. We want our freedom, we want truth, and stuff like that. Okay, so feeling negative emotions means I'm launching requests. As more people observe hardship and strike a tense, resistant pose and therefore disallow their own well-being, others use them as their reason to do the same. And in a very short time, a very negative pattern of resistance can sweep through your population. The good news in this scenario is that in every moment that every person is feeling negative emotion about the economic state, vibrational requests for more abundance are launched, and those requests are heard clearly and responded to immediately by source. That is so relevant for right now. It's just, I feel like my angel guides really guided me to pick this pile of cards because it was just really random. I just looked at the time and it was like 9:51 and I was like, okay, I'm going to go through the cards 9 times and then 5 times and then 1 and then whichever pile that is, I'm going to pick, and that's pretty amazing. Okay, I'm going to read this again because this was really poignant and really listen to each word and you'll get so much from it, the messages that are coming through this. Okay, let's read it from the beginning. Feeling negative emotions means I'm launching requests. You are launching requests into the universe. As more people observe hardship and strike a tense, resistant pose and therefore disallow their own well-being, others use them as their reason to do the same. And in a very short time, a very negative pattern of resistance can sweep through your population. The good news in this scenario is that in every moment that every person is feeling negative emotion about the economic state, vibrational requests for more abundance are launched, and those requests are heard clearly, and responded to immediately by source, by our creator, by our divine source. That was a really powerful card. Okay, just 2 more cards to go, and then I will wrap up this podcast. Whatever I can imagine, the universe can deliver. So whatever you can imagine, the universe can deliver that for you. Your imagination is very, very powerful. If you have the ability to imagine it, or even to think about it, this universe has the ability and the resources to deliver it fully onto you, for it is like a well-stocked kitchen with every ingredient imaginable at your disposal. At your disposal. I'm going to say that again. Whatever I can imagine, the universe can deliver. Whatever you can imagine, the universe will deliver it for you. If you have the ability to imagine it, or even to think about it, even if you don't right now believe it, just have fun with it. Just imagine it anyways. Just think about it anyways. And then slowly, day by day, it will get stronger and stronger. So if you have the ability to imagine it, or even to think about it, this universe has the ability and the resources to deliver it fully onto you. For it is like a well-stocked kitchen with every ingredient imaginable at your disposal. And the last card. Thank you so much for listening and for your attention. I really appreciate you. And I'm sending you lots of love and light. Okay, last card. When my desires and beliefs are a vibrational match, that which is like unto itself is drawn. So the vibration of your being must match the vibration of your desire. Another way of saying this is, your desires and your beliefs must be a vibrational match in order for you to receive that which you desire. So whatever you desire, you are needing to be a vibrational match to it. So that is what you can work on, and that is where you have the power to work on. No one has sovereignty. Is that the right? I can never say it. No one has the power over your thoughts and feelings. Only you do. You have full sovereignty. I keep wanting to say that word and I can't say it. Yeah, you have the power over your thoughts and feelings, and you are free to think and feel whatever your heart's desires. Sorry about the airplane noise. And that's a wrap. So thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really appreciate you listening, and thank you. And I hope to do more of these. And sending you lots of love and light. Bye.